Hey guys, welcome back to World of Warships. Today we're taking a look at some clan battles. It's been a while since I've played some clan battles, and certainly on this channel hasn't happened a ton, and that's because I got a little burnt out of the whole competitive scene, focused more on YouTube. But with this clan battle season, they've brought the Piñata team consumables into clan battles, and I had a lot of fun this first night. This might be a gimmick that is very short-lived, and I might not enjoy it as time goes on, but it was pretty fun for the one night I did play it, and we're going to see just how powerful some of these team consumables can actually be. Playing the Colombo here, as this is a relatively tanky battleship, but one that has a smokescreen, as well as sap. Sap is pretty important when you're dealing with things like Petros and Napolis, as that will get through some of the armor that a lot of the other AP and, well, a little better than HE, I hope. Now, we're going to get a lot of potential damage in this one. It's actually going to be the highest potential damage I think I've ever had in this game. Pretty insane to do that in a competitive game, although we certainly are getting that boosted by some of these airstrikes coming in. I had a lot of fun because these games were so interesting with these consumables. It seemed like it freshened up the meta quite a bit from what I was used to back in the day, and that's why I had a lot of fun with this. So the enemy team is just full charging in here. And we got to talk about this consumable we're using right now. This is the Coordinated Emergency Repairs. So this one is going to heal 1% HP per second of every single player on your team. You're going to see that on the enemy team. That Guden is actually not going to die. You could just live and live and live and live. And this impacts your entire team. So a very powerful thing. It also gives you a damage control. Again, whether or not this is good for the long-term health of clan battles or making things ultra competitive, I don't know. But it was certainly fun for the one night. There's some other ones where you can call a smokescreen, or you can prevent points from ticking for a while. Those don't seem quite as useful. I don't know. This healing thing is pretty extreme, I think. Although you can also drop mines, which are kind of annoying, I guess. But hopefully those don't make it into the regular game. Those you can disperse with some airstrikes. Didn't see those quite as much, but this heal was pretty insane, especially when you had full teams running it and pushing at you. We've hardly done any damage, but that's okay. Sometimes as a Battleship player in clan battles, you do just need to tank. You're there to survive, you're there to take the focus of the enemy team, and allow your teammates with more DPM to hopefully be getting that damage in. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. Not necessarily succeeding, as they're seeming to focus on John there in the Colbert. But we're going to just try and live. That's the idea here. Colombo is decent at this. Certainly there are some better picks we could have. But really it's that smokescreen that's really interesting to me with this ship, alongside that sap. And we managed to live somewhat a long time here. As far as clan battles goes, it's all about team play, right? Your individual score doesn't really matter as much. I'm going to show you some highlights here where I have insane games and we'll lose, and games where I don't do quite as much and we'll win. And it's more important to have those wins, of course. So your goal is to help your teammates more so than to get yourself on having more damage, let's say. It's very different than random battles and even ranked battles. Ranked seemingly is a lot about individual play as well, and that really just comes down to saving your star, right? Here, there's no saving your star. It's all about winning as a team. So in a clan battle season like this, well, there's 2 battleships potential. So of course, trying to set up crossfires there as well, going to be really useful, and just living as a Colombo. But our smoke can also be used for team play. It's not just our own smoke. So trying to communicate a little bit to say, hey, I've got a smoke coming up. Why don't these Colberts hop in that smoke and just farm a little bit for free? It's pretty cool, man. When you play with some good teammates and some friends, it is a really, really good time. I don't know this, but it felt like we had some pretty long queues for the first day of a clan battle season, so it seems like not too many people are playing this mode anymore, which is a little too bad. But I get it. I hadn't really played the mode for a few years, and mostly off and on, like a day or two here or there, but really hadn't played it seriously for a very, very long time. So I get it, but hey, maybe this season's a good one to hop into. But you do have to get, what, 7 people all together for one night together. That's not always going to be the easiest thing to do, right? Everybody has conflicting schedules. Everybody's got a life that they have to lead, and family members, all that stuff. So it is hard, but this is a decent one to try out. There's some fun to be had here. So here's our team smoke, getting the smoke not only for ourselves, but for the Colberts here. Now, Cecilia might be a good option, and I'll actually swap over to that in a little bit. But that gives an even bigger smoke screen, so my teammates can hop into it even easier, as well as just giving you more charges, faster cooldown, all that stuff, lasting longer. Pretty nice. Although you don't get sap on those main guns. The sap secondaries, a little bit less valuable. We'll go over the builds that I was looking at as well later on, but you'll notice that they're really not focused on secondaries or anything like that. It's all about staying alive, because I've only done 50k this game, a little bit more now that we've got a good shot into that Schlieffen, but it doesn't really matter as much the damage. Again, it's all about winning. And staying alive here, having the enemies try and focus me down, trying to maybe overextend to get me killed here, is going to help our team win. Just got to try and live. So that team consumable, used it a little too early maybe, because it does count as a damage control, and then we get set on a double fire there. A little bit rough, but again, teammates coming through, helping finish off that Schlieffen. Someone else has the heal on our team. See, it's not me. Someone else had the heal, and we're living. That's 7 million potential damage already. Again, those Guden bombs certainly do make it a little easier. They kind of bloom that number up a little bit more, but still very, very insane number to have. Marceau here is the one that's going to keep us spotted, so there's really no point in trying to not shoot our guns to go dark. It's not going to work. So we'll shoot the DD. Not always going to get good hits in, but that's okay. We're still alive. That's what counts. Look at the healing, man. We came back from pretty low HP there. That's the key here. This is going to be, what, 10% per consumable? Each person who brings it gets 2 charges, so that's 20% of your entire team's HP potentially. And I think all 7 players can bring it. That's a lot of healing, man. That's a lot of healing. Felt like I haven't had a lot of impact as far as guns in this game, so a nice little broadside Moskva to finish things off. We can hope. Colombo did get some accuracy buffs when Cecilia released, so that's nice to see. And boom. Nice big old dev strike to finish things off, and that's going to be a nice win. They certainly didn't all go as wins. I made some mistakes, teammates made some mistakes, but that's really not something you got to focus on. It's all about winning and losing as a team here. Very easy to get into the blame game, and that's a great way to break a team up and just have a miserable night, and everybody starts losing more often. So, really nice one to start off with, 7.5 million potential damage. I've never had that much in an entire game, and crazy for that to come in clan battles of all things, where theoretically the focus fire should be what we're going after, right? That's kind of the key to winning competitive games, is not taking the best shot for yourself, taking the best shot on whatever target the team calls. There's going to be a lot of focus fire you need to be trying to use as a team to just whittle targets down, especially with this heal, right, where it's healing your entire team for so much that you do just have to focus on one target at a time. That's the key here with this season, it seems like. Now on to this next game. Colombo also allows us to go on an off flank and cap. Even if we do get spotted early where they might deny the cap, we can use the smoke to get this cap, which is nice, right? Colombo, Cecilia, that's a reason to take it as well. Nice to see. Although, given that it's 2 battleships, you could take a lot of different battleships and it would go reasonably well. We get the cap here, and instantly it's contested. We're like 2 minutes into this game. So, yeah, you can probably guess what's happening. There's a few Kleber's rushing at me. Oh no. And we're in a Colombo, not a Cecilia. So our secondaries actually aren't going to do much damage. So we're going to have to focus on our Bane guns. Decent hit there to start off with, nearly 10k. And again, it's about focus fire. So my secondaries shooting at the wrong Kleber. Let's go for the one that's a little bit lower. Considering these team consumables, the healing here, you really don't want to spread out the damage as much. You just have to finish targets off. That's the key. Otherwise, they're going to come back at full health. That was kind of something I noticed as the night went on, is it seemed like people just popped back up with basically full HP. Even after taking some citadels, it doesn't really take into account permanent damage or anything like that. Bow on shot, we get pretty lucky there, to be honest with you. Colombo bow on to a Kleber to hit that many shells. So very fortunate there to finish off at least one of these Klebers. And yeah, I think we're dead at this point. I should have popped my team consumables, actually, looking back on this. Bit of a mistake there, but we trade out one. And that's it. And now I'm dead. So pretty low battle impact for me, right? But like I said, doesn't really matter what I accomplish individually as much. It's all about what our team accomplishes together. And we managed to win, which feels pretty good after I just die for free like that almost. Almost for free. I guess I traded. Fair enough. I traded. But yeah, typically as a battleship, you want to tank a little bit longer than that, ideally. So, but we'll take the win. Now on to a game where I'm individually going to do quite well, make a few mistakes that I will point out, but this one may not go so well as a team. Again, it's all about the team play stuff. So pushing in here, I'm looking at the points here. We're also communicating a lot. You've seen that in the top left. I have that visible, I suppose, but you're not getting the comms on this video at least. I'm doing the post-commentary thing. But a lot of communication, talking about what we should be doing, planning things out, reacting to things, all of that stuff. And our Stalingrad is low on HP, so I'm going to use my team healing. And even though I'm not really all that close by, with a Sicilia here, our smoke is gigantic. So what if I just pop a smoke screen? Look at how big it is. It covers this whole choke point. What's going to spot him? Right? Team play, right? Team play. That's the whole thing we need to do here. And I can tank for a long time here. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, okay, I can tank for a long time here. We can apply a lot of pressure to these Marseilles. I want to finish them off. They're being very difficult to kill. Kind of playing as a team and using these team healing to stay alive. It's you're going to see that here. We're going to get a pretty decent hit, I think. Yeah, down to relatively low HP, but they're going to pop a consumable, and the HP is just all going to climb back up. Now, I'm a little worried about getting YOLO rushed by that Yu Yang, as I got YOLO rushed by a Kleber. I think this was the one game after that even, so it's fresh on my mind about DD's YOLOing into me. So maybe I make a bit of a mistake here, and I decide to start pushing in, trying to force that island between myself and the Yu Yang, and potentially get a ram off on this Kremlin. My goal here now is to hopefully finish off this Marseille and then ram the Kremlin to death. I do have a ram flag on. That's very important to have, as it's going to reduce the ram damage taken and increase the ram damage given. I think everybody tends to run it in clan battles, in any sort of competitive, so hopefully we have enough to deal with this Kremlin version of it. And last shot, I do finish off the Marseille, but I leave the Kremlin on less than 1,000 HP, and look at how much damage he gets back. I'm sure he's popped his own heal alongside the team consumables one. So actually, we do end up losing this one. So on an individual level, I could look at that and say, wow, I did 268,000 damage. What are we doing, team, right? But no, that's not it. I made some mistakes there about going in too aggressive there. And even though I got some damage, I didn't actually end up finishing off that Kremlin, unfortunately. And as a team, we lost it. So if I had played a little bit differently, communicated differently, all that stuff, as well as just team play. It's all about winning or losing as a team. That's the real key you have to realize as you play competitive here. It's very, 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 very different than any sort of random battle play, where even myself, I get very focused on what I'm able to do, my own damage. Anytime I'm showing new ships, I'm looking at random battles, even ranked games. I'm always showing you games where I individually do well. Doesn't matter as much about winning or losing the game. Well, that's not the case as much in clan battles. You gotta have to shift your focus, I guess, is the idea. Now here's a match where we're kind of on the off flank. The enemy team has decided to push into my teammates over on our home cap. And I showed you a few where I was kind of on the side where the enemy team was pushing in, or we were pushing in, that kind of thing. As the off flank battleship, you need to be finding positions where you can get good crossfires in on whatever the target of priority is. So to start with, it was that low health Petro, and we happened to get a very, very nice salvo in. Moving on to the Schlieffen, who ate some torps, and you can see just the coordinated effort to take these guys down. That's the idea here, is it doesn't really matter who the target is as much, more so it matters that everyone's focused on the same person. It's all team play, team play, team play, team play, which is really cool. And that's one of the things I really enjoyed about competitive and clan battles, that kind of thing. Just found the meta got a little bit stale in the past, and I had this YouTube thing to focus on as well, so can't spend all day trying to make YouTube videos on that and then spend all night playing clan battles. That's just too much World of Warships. So, but I had a good time the other night, and this one is going to result in a pretty good win for our team as well. Now, it certainly helps here that I'm playing with some very, very, very good players, so more often than not, we're going to have some good wins and teams that are going to help each other out. But even if you're just playing with some friends that you get along with, that's really what matters the most. And I think this season is one where you could have some fun with these special consumables. John in the Kleber rushing in to deal with a Napoli of all things. These team heals, man, they can allow you to play some of these DDs like a Kleber that doesn't have a heal and just give it a heal from your teammates. And he actually saves his other side and gets the Petro as well. Yeah, pretty nice to be playing with some teammates like these. It's nice to have really good teammates. That helps a lot. I'm not gonna lie. But hey, I think even no matter who you're playing with, if you can have people you get along with, these clan battle seasons can be fun. And I had a good time, again, with these consumables. As for the builds that I was running, it may not be all that surprising, but just a basic tank build. As a battleship, that's really what's most important, is staying alive. So you can apply some pressure, either pushing in later game or as the bait, right? So they all shoot at you and not at your squishier teammates is the idea. So this is what I was running. Brisk here, allowing us actually to reposition, get into positions faster, flank faster, get to caps quicker. Brisk is very nice to have, but other than that, pretty basic stuff here. The smokes on these Italian battleships, pretty useful, not gonna lie, pretty useful. And the accuracy being a little improved nowadays compared to initially with Colombo, where that ship was released around Deadeye times, if you remember that. And then Deadeye got removed, and Colombo was balanced around that, I think. So feels good to have some accuracy back for Sicilia's release, and Colombo got that as well. The difference, though, being the smoke's a little bit better here on Sicilia. Even though we don't have the SAP main guns, the SAP secondaries probably would have helped me a little bit against that Kleber rush, although I probably was still dead, let's be honest here. But yeah, smaller smoke with less uptime, longer reload, less consumables. Colombo smoke's not as good, but you do get those SAP on the main guns, which can help out a lot against some of those Petros or Napolis that are very difficult to take down. But again, going main gun build straight up, no secondary shenanigans here, right? Just main guns, that's kind of the idea here. But yeah, I had a really good time. I don't always play clan battles. Again, I can sometimes find the meta to be a little stale, where everybody's just looking for small advantages early game, and then the real push comes late game when you're forced to. That seems to be what competitive comes down to. It's kind of boring for those first 3/4 of the game, and then a mad dash to try and salvage a game if you do happen to be on the team that doesn't have the points advantage or caps advantage, that kind of thing late game. But with these consumables, man, it sure has freshened it up. Again, it might just be a short-term gimmick where if this was how it is for a long period of time, I might not enjoy it as much. But hey, the first day was a pretty good time. So definitely give it a go if you're someone who hasn't played clan battles in a while, or try and find a clan that is interested in playing and give it a shot. It can be a good time if you're playing with the right people, that is. The key will be to find people that aren't too toxic and are mostly interested in just hanging out and having a good time. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great rest of your day.